Counting backwards, we on? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our December 20th, 21 monthly council meeting. I guess it's the last monthly meeting for this year. I'd like to welcome Deputy Mayor McColeman and all of my fellow councillors, other than Councillor Adams is on vacation this evening. And we have our acting CAO and Director, Gordon McFarlane. And we also have our Director of Finance, Kristen Dunsford. And I believe that I'd like to say hello and welcome our viewers on YouTube tonight from around the world or wherever they're watching from, as well as welcome Colin McLean from the Journal Pioneer and other members of the media watching. So we'll continue on with the agenda, and is there a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Ramsey. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary nay. Any conflict of interest declarations? I do not see any lights on. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the monthly council minutes for November 15th, 2021 and the approval of the special council meeting minutes of November 4, 2021? Moved by Deputy Mayor McColeman and seconded by Councillor Snow. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary nay. Carried. Correspondence. Just a number of many invitations over the last few weeks for functions and attendance, so I'll not get into reading them all tonight, but it has been another very, very busy month leading up to Christmas with a number of anniversaries and birthdays and functions and conventions and you name it. So it has been very busy for myself and all members of council as well as staff. And if any members of council got anything under correspondence they want to bring up when we get around to each councillor, the opportunity and the time will be there. And the first item on the agenda is the Financial Services Report by Deputy Mayor Norma McColeman, Chair of Finance.
Okay. Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening to my colleagues on City Council and to the residents and businesses of the City of Summerside. My report tonight will begin with a reminder that grant applications to our community support program for 22-23 budget are due on Friday, December the 31st, 2021 at 12 noon or 12 p.m. To be eligible to submit an application for consideration, the group or organization or event must meet the following criteria, which is a part of the city's formal policy. Be registered as a nonprofit organization and located in the City of Summerside. Must have a broad mandate servicing a wide cross-section of citizens within the City of Summerside. Must provide a service not currently provided by another body, and the purpose is to enhance social, cultural, environmental, recreational, or heritage initiatives. The application form is available on our website, www.summerside.ca, and late submissions will not be considered. For those who received a community support grant for 21-22, please be advised that your final report is due by December 31st, 2021, and that is an expectation of all grant receivers. Preparations are underway for our 2022-23 capital and operating budgets. We expect to present this budget to our residents in early March 2022. Also now for an update on the status of our utility accounts receivable. As of December 9th, 2021, the following is being reported. Total overdue balance is $145,800 compared to $124,400 at November 10th, 2021. Approximately 3.4% or 5,100 of the overdue balance is greater than 60 days old, which compares to 2.7% or 3,400 at the end or during November 10th, 2021. Customers who are having outstanding balances and have not requested a payment arrangement are strongly encouraged to contact Financial Services at 902-432-1230. Our latest projection for our current fiscal year is reporting a surplus of $46,100. We continue to meet with the individual departments to determine the impact the pandemic is having and may continue to have on city operations. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present this report this evening, and either myself or the Chief Financial Operating Officer will be available to take your questions. Sorry, I'm trying to rush because we wanted to just do highlights. I'd like to just extend Merry Christmas and all the best, especially to the residents of Ward 6, but all residents and business community, and just to extend a Merry Christmas and very best wishes for the new year incoming. Thank you. And with the report, just for members of council, your package of financial information is there, and you can read that or ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the Chair of Finance? I do not see any question lights on. Just under correspondence, I was going to mention about the many Christmas cards we received, and they're out in the lobby there, as well as we got very many electronically. So, we send out some as well from the city, and as well as some electronically. Anyway, we'll continue on. Councillor McFeely had a question.
Just very quickly, not a question, but a comment. Just the overdue accounts there of $5,100 that are greater than 60 days. I just want to comment on that because it wasn't too many years ago that was sitting at around $400,000. So, you know, we brought a new policy in around collection, and I really want to thank and show our appreciation for staff who kind of administer that, and that's not easy work, and so really appreciate that. So at the time I think indicated that we weren't the Bank of Summerside, so it's kind of nice to see that we're getting that down to a real manageable number. So thank you to staff for their work and due diligence on that.
Thank you.
Okay, I do not see any other lights on. We'll continue on. Councillor Duran, you have a technical services report. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nice to be back at the top of the agenda. We've been down below there for a few months. The 2021 construction season is coming to an end. The Duke Street Storm Project is complete. The lift station at Reed's Corner is underway and will continue throughout the winter as weather permits. The water main replacements on Central Street and Summer Street are now completed. The 1 kilometer boardwalk replacement project is completed, with some of the installation of the lighting still remaining, as there was a very long delivery time for those lights. We issued 21 building permits for a year-to-date total of 241, and the value of those this month was $3.6 million, with a total year-to-date value of $53 million. Developers are still stopping in and speaking to staff for assistance with their projects for this winter, as well as planning for next year, and residents are also still encouraged to ask for assistance with their projects that they may have coming up in 2022. And that concludes the report in bullet form for this month, and thanks very much to Director Aaron McDonald of Tech Services for preparing those numbers and preparing that report for this evening.
Thank you, Councillor Duran. Any questions for the chair? Just a comment then, 53 million last year was over 40, so $100 million in development in this little city the last year and a half, sort of thing. The year is not quite over yet, but it's just amazing. And we talked earlier about the growth and the attraction to our city. So with so much development, and those, to my knowledge, those $53 million permits, that didn't include things like a $4 million roundabout or all of the water and sewer work. So the construction this year has been tremendous, and which was certainly great for the economy.
Yeah, and a lot of jobs go with those projects as well. So,
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Your light, I know you have a problem with your light, but you got it fixed. Thank you. If there's nothing further, okay, we'll continue on. Councillor Brian McFeely, the Planning Board Chair. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship, and we have one resolution from Planning Board tonight, and it's Resolution COS 21-195. It's moved by myself, Councillor McFeely, seconded by Councillor Barb Ramsey. Whereas an application for a major subdivision was received from Arsenal Brothers Holding, Inc. to subdivide PID number 836353 into 6 lots. One lot, Lot 2017-7 is intended for service commercial C2, and 5 lots, lots 21-2 to 21-6, intended for high-density residential R4, is shown on plan prepared by Island Surveys and Engineering, drawing number 21359-1, dated October 28, 2021. And whereas in accordance with section 3.6 of the subdivision site development bylaw, council shall consider the following general criteria as applicable: conformity with all requirements of this bylaw, conformity with the official plan, conformity with the zoning bylaw, the orderly and following nature of the development, physical suitability of the site for the proposed development, including avoidance of natural hazards, undue water runoff, and environmental damage, compatibility of the proposed development with the present and future surrounding patterns of streets, lots, services, including conformity with any city concept plans, adequacy of the applicant's proposal for traffic circulation, parking, pedestrian access, water supply, sewer disposal, and storm drainage, including the adequacy of city streets and services to handle increased loads, suitability of the parkland provisions, impact on cities' finances and budgets, proof of conformity with any applicable provincial legislation and regulations, and other matters as considered relevant. Be it resolved that council grant preliminary subdivision approval in accordance with section 8.5 of the subdivision site development bylaw to Arsenal Brothers Holding Inc. to subdivide PID number 836353 into 6 lots. 1 lot, lot 2017-7, is intended for service commercial C2, and 5 lots, lots 21-2 to 21-6, intended for high-density residential R4, is shown on plan prepared by Island Surveys and Engineering, drawing number 21359-1, dated October 28, 2021, subject to the following conditions: the developer satisfy all municipal servicing requirements, the developer enters into a subdivision construction agreement with the city, the developer shall satisfy the parkland dedication requirements. And your worship, this bears the recommendation of the planning board meeting held on December 7th, 2021, and the survey plan is attached.
Thank you. So it was moved by Councillor McFeely and seconded by Councillor Ramsey. And resolution number COS 21-194?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Any questions in the resolution? All in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary nay. Carried unanimously. Is that all you have at this time, my Councillor McFeely?
Have planning boards, a short planning board session tonight. Thank you.
Okay, we'll continue on with, who's filling in for Councillor Bruce? Councillor McDougall, you're filling in for Councillor Adams. HR, Legal Affairs, Culture Summerside, and Policy Review.
Yeah, I believe
Oh.
Justin's doing policy review. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I do have a report here from HR and Legal Affairs. The Joint Occupational Health and Safety Committees, as well as the Department subcommittees, continue to meet on a regular basis. The Department provided support at various meetings throughout the month. Alex Troitz and Dylan Noonan are the new part-time police officers. Rebecca Covio was a successful applicant of the Municipal Services Clerk replacement. Excuse me. In welcoming Rebecca, we say thank you to Debbie Cameron, who will be retiring. Debbie has been with the city since 1997. Thank you, Debbie. Pat Daly has been promoted to corporal with police services, and Pat Perry has been promoted to working foreman at the credit union place. A couple of different activity challenges took place last month with numerous employees taking part. That's my HR and Legal Affairs report. I do have a resolution, though, Your Worship.
Okay, any questions on the first portion of his report? If not, go ahead, sir.
Okay. And this is to do with the COVID vaccination policy. Oh, yeah, we'll do that after. Yeah, okay, I'll do that one after. I'll do the culture now. I'll do the other one
Okay.
after. Sorry.
Your light wasn't on there, maybe so we'll get it recorded.
I was just
Oh,
saying
okay.
that before he read the resolution on the vaccination policy,
'Cause-
the bylaw report kind of covers
The
it.
bylaw report.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I have a report here for Cultural Summerside. The following report captures some highlights of Cultural Summerside's activity from the mid-November to mid-December period. The Magic of Christmas at Wyatt Heritage Properties, the Christmas Trees Through the Ages exhibit. Cultural Summerside is celebrating the holiday season with the Magic of Christmas at Wyatt Heritage Properties. Christmas Trees Through the Ages exhibit. The Christmas tree is one of the central traditions of Christmas with a story that dates back centuries. For the Magic of Christmas, the main floor of the historic Lafergie Cultural Center has been transformed into an exhibit of 30 Christmas trees decorated according to the trends, traditions, and happenings of various time periods. Each tree has its own story. Over 400 visitors have attended the exhibit since the opening day on December 6th. Participants include visitors from Charlottetown, Summerside, Ottawa, Western PEI, and Maine. We have also had visitors from homeschooling groups and many students from nearby schools. The last day of the exhibit was on Friday, the 17th, and so that exhibit went over well. The staff of the McNaught History Center and Archives have been working on the Fox Museum collection. Work includes making improvements to the intellectual order and physical storage of the collection. Lighting the Way, The Story of Summerside Electric, 1920 to 2020. The book is currently available at Summerside City Hall, Lafergie Cultural Center, and the Bookmark in Charlottetown for shoppers' convenience. This book makes an ideal Christmas gift. So you only got a few days left. Summerside Armory Project, progress continues at the Armory. Important exterior work on the walkways was particularly completed in November, and remaining work is now held up with the winter weather. Interior finishing work is being completed, and exhibits are under development. That's all I have, Your Worship.
You had mentioned the song, or wondering when we're getting a copy of that song for the electrical 100th anniversary.
I'm not sure. Hopefully it's in the works.
It is? Hopefully it is.
I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody lately.
Okay.
So.
It's worth a listen for everybody.
Yeah. That's all I have, Your Worship. I think the bylaw.
Okay, we'll
Analysis.
cross the floor to Councillor Drawn. Get your lights going. They're great. The floor is yours again, sir.
Good to be back. So I'd like to bring everyone up to date on the latest efforts of the Bylaw and Policy Review Committee on behalf of our chair, Councillor Adams. Staff had presented council with options that may help in addressing unsightly properties in the community. To that end, council directed staff to look at methods around taxation and stimulus programs as additional tools for council to use. More recently, the committee reviewed a draft bylaw which contained an expanded definition of unsightly properties, along with proposed wording on how to address vacant properties. We're currently working through this draft, and we will be presenting it to council once we have completed our internal review. And finally, City Council recently discussed whether the city should adopt a vaccination policy. The legal guidance on the need for full vaccinations and disclosure of vaccination status is evolving almost every day. We've seen other employers and jurisdictions experience challenges in administering and enforcing these policies. Given that we have a very high number of staff who are fully vaccinated, 97%, and who have received at least one vaccine, 99%, there is some justification for not requiring a policy at this time. However, we also recognize that we need to balance the rights of those who are fully vaccinated with those that are not. Some of the key points of this proposed policy include all staff must provide proof of their current vaccination status on or before February 28th, 2022. Any unvaccinated staff must provide a negative COVID-19 test from a provincial government testing facility once weekly or at 7-day intervals, and at any other times as may be required by the employer, which will not be more than 3 times per week. And an employee who has indicated that they intend to become fully vaccinated but who does not become fully vaccinated in accordance with the schedule of vaccinations provided may be subject to discipline, and that includes up to termination of employment. So with all that being said, we will continue to monitor this closely. As we know, public health guidance can change. In the meantime, we intend to more formally acknowledge those who have received the vaccine while continuing to work with those staff who are vaccine hesitant. The health and safety of our staff and our residents is our utmost priority. So this concludes the report for the month of December. Myself or Deputy CAO Gordon will be pleased to answer any questions if there are any.
I have a question. There are other lights around here first. Councillor Snow and Councillor, I guess you.
The only question I have would be that it says all staff must provide proof of their current vaccination status before February 28th. So we currently know 97% are fully vaccinated. In the meantime, if any of our staff do not provide proof prior to February 28th, are we requiring them to test currently after we pass this, or is it following February 28th? Because that's quite a window, right? So I would be concerned if we're not going to test immediately once we pass this, even though we don't have their proof of vaccination. Is that?
Yeah, I think our intent would be to move forward kind of quickly in the new year, as soon as we get, folks get back from
Yeah.
Christmas vacations, move into a kind of a testing regime for any staff who don't have vaccinations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess it between, you know, when we're back New Year and February 22nd, I guess just to clarify, or sorry, February 28th, just to clarify, if someone doesn't have that proof of vaccination between that time, we're requiring the testing? Or is the testing only come into effect after February 28th?
Excuse me, no, our intention would be to start a testing regime prior to February 28th, yeah.
Thank you. Just my question is, when we say fully vaccinated, what happens if the government or the health officer decides that everybody has to have another one, a booster? What is fully vaccinated? 2 or 3? Or how will that changeover take place in regards to that percentage will change if everybody is required to have 3?
Yeah, the policy takes that into effect, or takes that into account and speaks to continuing,
Yeah, and the policy,
upkeep with whatever CBHO is.
the policy is in the package as well, which is available online if anybody wants to download it and view it. So.
Thank you. I think just to get that message out there to the public. Any further questions or comments for the chair? I do not see any other lights on, other than the chair. Do you have anything further to say at this point?
I have the
I have everything.
resolution.
Oh, sorry, we're back across the floor here to Councillor McDougall. Which one is resolution is this one?
This is for
The
the
COVID?
COVID vaccination, yes, so, and it's moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Barb Ramsey.
It's a short one, eh?
Yeah, it's very short. As Councillor Duran said, the policy's in our package and it's posted online. And be it resolved that the City of Summerside COVID Vaccination Policy P-CS-21 be approved
As of this date,
as of this date.
moved by Councillor McDougall and seconded by Councillor Ramsey. Any questions? All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary nay? Carried.
Your Worship, on behalf of Councillor Adams, I just want to say Merry Christmas to all her residents in Ward 8 on her behalf, and to Mayor, Council, City staff, and the residents of Summerside. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDougall. So where are we here now? We've all finished up with 7, A, B, C, and D. Okay, we'll go on to municipal services. Councillor McDougall, you still have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. I do have a report here by Director Greg Goody, and the
Street sweeper?
maintenance, no, street sweeper is, the street sweeper is all looked after. Anyway, the maintenance at the sewer treatment plant was performed this month. There's a new centrifuge unit installed, up and running, and rebuilt pump at the Northumberland lift station. We had snow efforts, snow removal efforts 3 times during the month. Public Works had a forklift training, the lockout tagout training and fall arrest training this month. And Public Works assisted with the Santa Claus Parade, traffic barricades. New crosswalk flags were installed in McEwen Road at 3 Oaks High School and Charlotte Drive and South Drive. Public Works have assisted with the Christmas lighting decorations throughout the downtown core. And staff have written certifications for wastewater treatment, collection, and water distribution. A total of 8 staff wrote for certifications. And the temporary speed bumps have been removed for the winter. And just on some, the stats, the 24 water samples were taken. There was 1 sample that had to be retaken because of a bacteria count, but everything was cleared on its second. And we had chlorination samples taken. Everything was within parameters. 3 water main breaks were repaired during the month, and that's about it. So that's all I have, Your Worship, if there's any questions.
Any questions for the chair? I do not see any question lights. Do you have anything further?
I'd just like to, on behalf of myself and my wife, I'd like to wish my colleagues, Mayor and Council, a very Merry Christmas, as well as the residents of Ward 1 and throughout the city. Hope we all have a very safe holiday. And all I can say is stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDougall. Okay, we'll continue on here. Things are moving along fairly quickly. Councillor Campbell, how are things in the electrical? You have a report, sir?
Yes, I do, Your Worship. The access road to the Sunbank projects has been completed. The engineering work is 30% completed. The battery system and the solar modules have been procured for arrival in May. The full project site has signage installed at the property's edge. I guess I just mentioned this would probably be the largest construction project that the city's ever had, so probably monthly reports coming from the Electrical Commission. And I believe, if you remember, Your Worship, you ordered me to go out and get more wind to blow in the last month, and I can report that we had 53.5% of electricity came from the wind, so
Good. You're doing a good job at it.
thank you.
Wasn't all
Generator
warm
run
air,
hour.
was it? Wasn't all hot air.
Generator run hours were 11.6 hours, 13 new electrical customers energized, 10 electric service upgrades, 3 new poles were installed and 4 removed, 120 meters of primary wiring installed, 83 meters of secondary wiring installed, 51 service calls were responded to this month, 5 street lights installed this month, and 1 room heater for the Heat for Less program. I guess that's my report, Your Worship. And I'd also like to wish a Merry Christmas to Ward 5 residents, plus a Happy New Year. I don't think we're going to have our New Year get-together either, so also a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Any questions for the Chair of Electrical? Do not see any questions. We'll continue on. Excuse me, Councillor McPhail, you have the floor again, sir.
I do, Your Worship, for the Economic Development Report, and first of all, I guess I want to, this might be a little bit repetitious for council, but I want to comment first of all on the announcement earlier this month about the redevelopment of 425 Granville Street. As all of us know, that former Holland College building has been an eyesore in the city for 20 years, and just to let the residents know that demolition has begun. So there is work happening up there. Probably won't see much happening on the outside for a little bit of time, but you should see that building gone by spring. So that's very encouraging, and certainly want to express my appreciation, certainly the Economic Development Committee's appreciation to Council and yourself, Your Worship, for her perseverance to see this project through. It was a difficult one to bring to fruition, but we're here, and we've been able to move it forward. So there's lots of people to thank for that. Firstly, certainly in terms of landing the health building there that was announced, the province, and both Minister Hudson and the Premier for the work in advancing that, as well as Ministers Myers and Minister Aylward and their staff, deputies and staff for moving that project forward and landing that in Summerside. So it's going to be a great addition to Summerside. It's going to be a great addition to the whole area of health professional recruitment and so forth in town. So we're pretty excited about that. I also want to take a moment to thank APM for their continued dialogue and frankness and working through the challenges that we had to bring this to fruition. In several meetings with APM, they were all positive. I think everybody in the room wanted to get it done and find a way to get it done, and things had to work, but we were able to get there. And certainly the decision to kind of take a collaborative, long-term vision approach to get this property into active and producing assets for a city and not losing sight on what is best for the citizens of Summerside sort of guided our discussions there. So really pleased to get that going. So as a council, as we enter into our fourth year of our mandate, and for the first 3 years we've made no secret that there are several legacy projects that we were going to address and get resolved. We were going to do so in a manner that looked at the long-term goal versus short-term fixes, and we were going to approach projects in a way in which everyone had a role to play. We have always viewed our role as making sound public investments in projects that have the most potential to spur additional private sector investment, removing barriers that hinder the advancement which this project is focused on doing as the right thing to do. Historically, governments have embraced action and investment in Summerside, and the community has had a solid track record and history of providing stimulus in various forms to support the city, be it through our community grants, business incentives, or our fiscal policies for our residents. So in closing, I would certainly want to, as others have, offer our best wishes for a Merry Christmas for all of Ward 7, and certainly as well happy holidays for those of the non-Christian faiths in our community and our ever-growing immigrant community. That we need to remember those people are thousands of miles away from home for their Christmas time. So we think of them as well, and as well certainly Merry Christmas to my fellow councillors. So hope everybody has a great little break and a good vacation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McFeely. And just to follow up on that, you're right, and a lot of credit we got to give Mike Tasuska and his staff and the Economic Development Committee with the support of council and everybody to make that happen in North Granville Street. And also thanks to Tim Banks. He came on side, and we had a number of meetings with him. And like you say, the work has begun up there. And we talked about all of the permits earlier there on Tech Services Committee, but the $67 million solar farm that wasn't included in the $53 million. So there was a lot of, as we mentioned earlier, underground projects and paving and sidewalks. So the Economic Development Committee, and I think this has been talked about before, has probably been the busiest ever here in Summerside, and because council are making things happen. And so anyway, thank you for that report, Councillor McFeely. And any questions for the Chair of Economic Development? I do not see any further lights on, so we'll get back on the agenda here. And Councillor Ramsey, you have a police services, fire, and emergency planning report. Councillor Ramsey.
Okay, and thank you, Your Worship, and good evening, everyone, fellow councillors and everyone at home this evening. My first report is going to be police services. The members continue to attend meetings for the Bridge Program, Criminal Intelligence, PEI, Crime Stoppers, and other provincial organizations. The training and service for the month of November During that month, more of the members completed their annual firearms qualifications as per the Police Act. Training has continued for e-ticketing. 2 members were involved in teaching standard field sobriety training at the Atlantic Police Academy. And some of the members, RCMP and Charlottetown Police Services, were in attendance. They had members take a criminal analysis course, the training during the month, plus losing 3 members to Charlottetown Police Service has impacted on our traffic enforcement for the month. So unfortunately, we lost 3 members to Charlottetown. And we weren't really surprised because those members lived in Charlottetown and they were hoping to get back home. So anyway, as you heard, the HR report, there have been officers hired. So but again, we're into the training and that slows everything down. So our traffic law, that's kind of suffering a bit, but.
Charlottetown will benefit from the great training those officers.
They sure
got
will, yeah, we have some great officers here in Summerside.
That moved to Charlottetown, so they'll benefit from those.
That's right. Part-time police officer interviews were conducted and 3 new members will be starting right away. And as you heard, they're already in place. Our police officer at Three Oaks High School continues to deal with many situations that are arising at the high school, and he continues to be very, very busy. He did a number of presentations also in the month of November at SIS on internet safety. A police member continued to volunteer at the College of Piping, and service was provided to the office of the Lieutenant Governor for the month of November. I'm going to read some of the occurrences for the month of November. The call for services were 552, traffic accidents were 28, reported crimes of assaults and threats were 29, theft reports were 14, impaired driving offenses were 12, Highway Traffic Act charges were 53, compared to 183 in October and 145 in September. So that's just showing us how busy the officers are, and when we lose, manpower like that, it certainly has an impact on us. And I've been having regular meetings with police services, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do about this, and we'll be bringing some information to council in the very near future, as early as January. Break and enter reports, business and residential, were 8. Drug enforcement charges were 2, and that does not include the JFO charges, so the joint forces charges, so they're a separate incident. So that is my police report, if anyone has any questions.
Just make a comment. I wanted to congratulate or wish our police chief a happy birthday yesterday.
Oh, yes.
And it's great to see him home and walking and doing really well. So happy birthday, Chief Poirier.
Happy birthday, Chief, and it's nice to have him home. I know Ruby's happy to have him there. Thank you, Your Worship.
It's great to see the chief home was right. I just had, first of all, one thing was to thank the staff for putting the 3-month, a rolling 3-month with the thing. It shows us, just the trend, right? And so we had asked for that last month, and I thank the councillor and the department for doing that. The one thing that I was going to ask is on the e-ticketing. Do we know when we'll be sending love letters in the mail?
No, we don't have confirmation on that yet, Gordon, right? No, you're saying no, and I haven't heard anything on what a diary date as the mayor usually.
Maybe we can explain that if you have a look up in some of the posts, I know there's some on South Drive, there's some on Water Street East, the cameras on the, by the intersections there, that's what it's for, so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they were still waiting for parts, and there were all sorts of, concerns. They're just not ready to go yet, but I suppose they're as anxious as we are to kind of get that up and running, but it's not yet, so.
Councillor Snow, you had a question?
You do?
No, yeah, just curious, and I guess you explained it, but it says down due to training and we lost staff. But we just have overall manpower issues during that
Yes.
month. that we couldn't backfill? Normally, we would backfill if people are doing regular training, correct?
So,
But is it with the training plus the loss of officers, or?
well,
It's mostly to do with the time and turnover with full-time members leaving, part-time members get promoted, and then backfilling and hire new part-timers.
Okay.
I can honestly say that our police services are doing a wonderful job, and we got a letter as early as today from an organization just saying how wonderful they are doing. But I can honestly say they're tired. They're working very hard. There's not enough people that they can call. We're into a lot of overtime, and council really needs to take a look at this in the new year.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm sort of getting at, even though we have somebody training and people moving, you would hope,
Yeah,
in my mind, I would hope that we would still have the ability to backfill those. I know it wouldn't always be possible, but my hope would, like, that's pretty drastic.
and we don't have any, so,
Thank you.
so that's I sent a note to our Rob Philpott last week, asking about a presentation from police services for early January, so we can at least look at what's going on, and they're just working really, really hard. They have as many, I think, court dates as Charlottetown, and they don't have the manpower, so. Anyway, we need to look at that with budgets coming up. We need to look at safety, and so hopefully that can be on top of the list. That's it for police services, unless we have any other questions. No, we're good to go.
Fire services.
Fire services is next, and there were 18 calls during November: structure fire, 7 alarm panel calls, 3 medical first responder calls, a motor vehicle accident, false alarm, smoke complaint, miscellaneous call, and cancel calls. Firefighters trained a total of 537 hours for the month of November. Year end for Summerside Fire is November 30th. A total of 274 calls were made to the department, and our firefighters trained for a total of 4,465 hours. That's a lot of volunteer hours for the firefighters to put in the year, and if we have 40 firefighters, that's a lot of hours. So I would like to thank them for all their hard work and effort that they put into being a volunteer firefighter here in Summerside. A more thorough report will be presented with the annual report on that. So, as every year, it was an honor for 30 of the firefighters to attend the Remembrance Day service at the Credit Union Place. And I need to give a shout out to Chief Ron Inman, the fire committee, the firefighters, the businesses who donated money, the volunteers for all of the hard work put in to the Santa Claus parade this year. We were the only city on the island having a parade. So we had, I think, 3,000 vehicles go through. We stood there in the rain, all of us, not just council, but everybody who participated, as well as the volunteers and the firefighters, and for 3 hours. And we were soaked to the bone, but we had a lot of fun. The enthusiasm was wonderful, and I'm just so pleased that that could happen this year. So they raised $8,500 from donations from those businesses, and that money was divided evenly between the Kinsman Christmas Appeal, the Salvation Army, and the St. Elmer's Lions Club. And so we made that donation one night last week, and boy, there were some pretty happy people there to get that money to help the children and make a better Christmas for everybody. So again, thanks to Summerside firefighters, Justin, you're included in that, for what you do for the city of Summerside. 4 of the newest members have completed the first module of their level 1 training. Congratulations to Tommy Campbell, Keith Johnson, Zach Culleton, and Murray Spencer for completing the Medical First Responder course. Summerside Fire Department has recently begun a collaboration with the Summerside Western Capitals hockey team. 2 days a week, a team member comes to the station and volunteers his time with helping out on the daily routines. So that's very nice. And then we had, the firefighters had their banquet in the month of November, and we were able to attend, and it was wonderful to see the firefighters receive their awards, and it was a lovely evening for a couple of hours, and glad we got that in before COVID shut us down. And anyway, on behalf of the firefighters, Summerside Police, and myself, I would like to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And thank you to the residents of Summerside for their support. And feel free to reach out in the new year if you have anything you need to chat with us about. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ramsey. I believe Councillor Campbell had a question or a
I might
comment?
have missed it, but did we thank the police force for Phil Levan? I forgot
Yes.
about it Saturday morning. I dropped my gift off Monday, but the Facebook showed the van was getting pretty well stocked about that. I think it's a lovely initiative.
It is, Thank you for bringing that up, and that goes on December report, so that was the only reason, but it's nice to talk about it because it was a very successful morning. I know most councillors got down there and donated a gift or money or whatever. It was a wonderful, so many people from Summerside came in, and boy, we live in a wonderful place, guys, and very kind people. So yeah, that's police services, and it's called Cops for Kids. Happens every year in December, and they filled the van pretty good, Greg. Yeah, it was great. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Thank you. And Chief Poirier started that 12 years ago, and it's been very successful every year.
And he
Also,
was there.
yes, I
he
know, he was
came
great
and
to
sat
be
there.
there.
And, yeah.
And also, we attended the banquet for the firefighters that night, and we passed on congratulations to all of those who received the awards,
Yep.
plus the yearly bars. So congratulations to all, and again, thank you both to the fire department and the police department for their great work, volunteer work, and their great work in general.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I think, Justin, do you?
Yeah, it's not related, but I was so focused on getting my second report
Yeah.
ready back when I was doing my spiel that I didn't wish my residents and you all and anyone watching and our media folks that always join in. I
I know.
totally lost my mind there, and as I listened to everyone, wish everyone the best greetings and holiday wishes, and I'm the Scrooge here sitting in the corner that didn't do that, so
No.
just wanted to wish everybody in the room and everybody on online and Colin and all of the media people that join us, and just happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and especially with all that has been happening in our medical world lately, everybody hopefully will stay safe and healthy, so thank you for that.
Thank
And
you, Councillor, sorry.
And if I can just echo behind Councillor Justin, I'll Scrooge as well, because I mentioned it for the residents, but I was trying to stay on a time limit because we were keeping things shorter tonight, and I missed saying Merry Christmas to all, Mayor and Council. Very important. We work so much together, so Merry Christmas to you folks as well.
Thank you, so we'll continue on. Sorry? Okay. Yeah, we'll continue on. Councillor Snow, you have Community Services report.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to start by thanking J.P. DeRozier, who compiled the report. The Community Services Department had a few major announcements in November, starting with the return of professional basketball to Summerside. We're on hand for the announcement that's seen the Summerside Slam be the third team announced in the ECBL. Play is hoping to begin in March of 2022. Since that announcement, there's been 3 more teams, taking it up to a total of 6 around the Maritimes. I know Mayor Brown in Charlottetown made some comments there off the cuff, and I think he's going to be surprised who's actually slamming who. But after a hiatus due to COVID-19 restrictions, Credit Union Place returned to the concert scene in November to announce that Blue Rodeo will play on March 25th, 2022. Tickets went on sale December 3rd with a variety of pre-sales leading up to the on-sale date. The multi-purpose dome saw some exciting developments through the month of November, with the foundation being completed, artificial turf put in place, and plenty of progress on the welcome building. Since then, it's been inflated here in the last week, and I was lucky enough to get inside and take a look around, and it is an amazing facility that our residents and everybody from surrounding communities are going to be very happy to get in to use, and really look forward to that opening up fully in February, but hopefully we get some user groups in there prior to that. The Caps went 5-1 on home ice in the month of November, and continue a strong season in a year where Summerside will host the Fred Page Cup. On November 10th, the Caps played on home ice, defeating Campbellton 5-3, following the game crew's work to convert the arena for the city's Remembrance Day ceremony. Returning indoors to the ceremony, at the Island Petroleum Energy Center, the ceremony saw over 1,400 residents attend. The Active Living crew were busy preparing for the Active Winter programming, which will kick off in January and include a wide variety of outdoor winter activities. They also hosted 3 PD day camps in November and the weekly skate basic programs. Sport and Entertainment Tourism Summerside, also known as SETS, announced the on-sale of Fred Page Cup tournament passes just in time for the holiday season. Each customer will receive a Fred Page Cup themed mini stick paired with a commemorative ticket for the tournament. The bowling lanes and aquatic center saw 12 total themed birthday parties in the month of November, while the Veterans Convention Center saw a total of 31 bookings. And it says Christmas parties are filling up. We obviously know we're at Christmas time, and things have changed a little bit with COVID, but we definitely had a good month, and our staff at the Community Service Department do a great job in keeping Credit Union Place safe for our residents when they do get to go there and attend any events. So I'd really like to thank them. Lastly, I do have a little bit of an update from our Seniors Advisory Committee. So the committee consists of Councillor Carrie Adams, Mayor Stewart, Lisa Langdale, Margaret Arsenault, Joan Lafergie, and Dr. Katrina McKay. And we've been meeting regularly over the last year and discussing seniors in our community and how we can make sure that we're doing everything we can to benefit them. And we are currently have a survey that's up on our city website, and we're going to have 3 group discussions, one-on-one, in the month of January, provided things allow us with the COVID restrictions. But currently there is on our city website a link to a survey for anybody, whether or not you're a senior or somebody that wants to fill it out on behalf of senior. As we say in our committee, you know, we're all going to eventually be seniors someday, so even if you're not a senior right now, it's important to have your input into what you want to see services for your seniors in our community. So I would like everybody to take the time out to either look on our website, or we also are planning 3 sessions, and they are Tuesday, January 18th at 9:30 a.m., Wednesday, January 19th at 3 p.m., or Thursday, January 27th at 6:30 p.m. So we sort of staggered the time to give everybody the opportunity to be able to get out if certain times don't work for you. And then, of course, if you can't make any of those sessions and you want to have your input, there is the survey online that you can go out and fill out and submit it, and we'll compile all the responses, and we will go from there. But our Seniors Advisory Committee have been working very hard on the behalf of the residents of the city of Summerside, and just want to give you an update on that. And just in closing, like everybody else, I just want to wish everybody in the city of Summerside a very Merry Christmas from the Snow family. So my wife Colleen, my son Braden, and my daughter Brooklyn, to all the families here in Summerside, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Councillor Snow. So
I just have a
looks like,
question.
sorry,
if I
Councillor
could,
Ramsey had a question? Go
Your
ahead, a
Worship,
comment, go ahead.
For Councillor Snow. So those dates that you just gave, Councillor Snow, are they going to be out there somewhere where folks can access them, you know what I mean?
So they're currently on the City of Summerside website.
Okay.
And then we're going to share it via our Facebook and social media pages.
Okay.
It's also going to, we're planning on having it in the Journal Pioneer and Guardian leading up
Okay.
to.
Okay.
now, obviously with the recent COVID stuff, things might change, but our
Okay.
hope is to engage as many people as possible, and if we have to make adjustments with the dates just due to COVID and make it as safe as possible, we'll do that, but
Yeah.
those are the dates as of right now, and
Okay.
we'll see how it goes moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, I guess we've got to the end of the agenda. I just want to make a few final comments. I as well, at this point, want to certainly wish my fellow councillors and all city staff members a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This has been the first time in many years that we didn't have a little reception afterwards, the Christmas council meeting, but because of COVID regulations, we want to make sure we follow all of the guidelines. As well, there'll be no levy this year because of the COVID situation. And you had mentioned, I believe, the basketball team, Councillor Snow, and that's going to be great. And I know Mayor Brown had mentioned to me about slamming Summerside Slam, and I'll certainly be at that first game. And I was told Mayor Brown would probably fit in the hoop. He wouldn't have to slam him in. So we'll have to check that out. Anyway, we look forward to working very hard all during 22 and working with council and staff and making good things happen in the city of Summerside. So Merry Christmas and all the best to all of our residents and people watching on YouTube, and thank you to the media for all of their fair reporting over the years. And we've gotten to the end of the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Councillor McDougall and seconded by Councillor Duran. All in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary nay. And we'll give